Many of you probably heard by now, but the Diablo 2 beta is happening tomorrow, and in this video I want to talk about all the details for the early access beta, how you get into it, what platforms you can play on, and as well as the next beta that's coming a little bit after it, and what you need to know about this. So first up, the early access beta, which is the first of the two betas, takes place starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Friday. This is tomorrow, so if you guys want to play the early access beta, then you can start doing that at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Friday. This beta is going to run through Tuesday, August 17th at 10 a.m. Pacific time and is available on Windows PC, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4 for players that have pre-purchased Diablo 2 Resurrected or Diablo Primeval Collection. This beta is preloadable, which means you can download it and have it ready ahead of time, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you do that. The open beta will take place the following weekend beginning on August 20th, which is Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, running through the 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's available to anyone regardless of whether they pre-order the game or not. So if you don't want to pre-order the game, you'll miss the early access period, but you'll still be able to play the following weekend in the open beta if you choose on the same platforms. The content of the beta is exactly the same as the technical alpha, meaning that you're going to be able to play through Acts 1 and 2 of the game. However, you are going to be able to play the Druids and Paladin classes this time, so you're going to be able to choose from Sorceress, Amazon, Barbarian, Paladin, and Druid this time around, with the Assassin and the Necromancer going to be available at full launch of the game. Also, just to clarify one point, if you're playing on PC, you're going to be playing on Battle.net. This has its own downloader. It's not on Steam or on the Epic Store, so if you're looking for it there, you're not going to find it, and you need to get it from the Blizzard Store. A couple of other points about this open beta. Xbox Live Gold is required to play during the early access period. That's this coming weekend, but not the open beta next weekend. So you'll need Xbox Live Gold if you want to play this weekend, but not next weekend. And PlayStation Plus is not needed for either this weekend or next weekend, but will be necessary at the launch of the game. Another piece of helpful information is that your progress from the early access beta, that means if you play this weekend, will carry over to the following weekend's open beta. So if you play in both betas, your characters will still be there. They'll still have their progression, which means, maybe you don't get to play as much as you want this coming weekend. You can pick up where you left off next weekend if you choose. Another really important point is that offline save files, although they will work at the launch of the game from the original Diablo 2, meaning that you can take your old save files and sort of manually copy them over and use them for Diablo 2 Resurrected at launch, will not work during either of these beta tests because they are multiplayer online only tests. So you won't be able to use those save files for these beta tests, but you will be able to use those at the launch of the game. And also note that the progress made during beta, either of these betas, will not carry over to live launch, meaning if you get a bunch of characters up to 30 or whatever during these betas, you're not going to have those available to you at launch. Another thing to note is that the beta is not playable on Nintendo Switch. Although the game will be available on Nintendo Switch at launch, you won't be able to play the beta on it. Also, you will need internet access in order to play either of these betas, as they are online multiplayer tests only. That means that at the launch of the game, you'll still be able to play offline like you could with the original version of the game, or online, but for these tests specifically, you will need a persistent internet connection. The last thing I want to mention is that Diablo 2 Resurrected does have cross-progression, meaning that you can pick up where you left off. Let's say you played on PC, you can pick up where you left off on PlayStation, but note that you will have to have a copy of the game on each of these platforms and pre-ordered if you want to play, let's say, on PC one weekend and then PlayStation the next, or maybe one day you want to play on Xbox, but the next day you want to play on PlayStation. You'll have to pre-purchase on separate platforms, so it's not like you'll be able to pre-order on PC and then you can play on any of these platforms, so just keep that in mind. We are going to be streaming the Diablo 2 Early Access Beta this weekend, so if you guys want to come by and ask questions about the game or play, hang out, etc., be sure to do that. And I am trying to snag some early access keys in order to give to people who don't want to pre-order the game so they can try it out. I'm trying to get a hold of a bunch of those. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to try and give away a bunch of those on our stream on Friday so that other people can check it out even if they don't want to pre-order the game. And the last thing is we do have a Diablo 2 wiki that we've been working on. It should have all the information for the game, including updated icons, UIs, menus, etc. Anything that's new to Diablo 2 Resurrected should all be in there as well. So make sure you bookmark that and have it ready for when you play. So are you guys going to be checking out the Diablo 2 Early Access Beta this weekend? What platform are you going to play on if you play? Or are you going to wait until next weekend when you don't have to pre-order to play? Let me know in the comments below.